Okay, so chapter 5 and chapter 10. Chapter 5 talks about leadership and power. And power doesn't usually give you leadership. I already have a perfect example, and this is just my opinion. I mean, no reason trying to offend you or anybody else. But look at our president now. He knows he has willpower. He knows he has authority to do anything he wants with the approval of Congress, of course. But um, he has the whole weight of the United States on his shoulders. And most of the time, more than half of his time in office, has been at the golf course. He has taken healthcare away from thousands of people, and it's not fair. Like, so leadership, you shouldn't be scared of somebody that's a leader. They should lead by example. They shouldn't be threatening others. They shouldn't be bashing on other cultures, which will lead me to chapter 10, that leadership and diversity. I love diversity. I love talking about it. But it defines who he is as a person, and he's very disliked by a lot of people, including myself. But like Jordan was saying, power doesn't give you leadership. With leadership comes professionalism. If you're not professional, how are people going to take you seriously? My manager, they are always cussing inside the the um the training room and stuff like that, and that's fine. But when you constantly do it, people are going to start following by example. They're going to start following in your footsteps and think it's okay. And then they come to us talking about you're not supposed to be doing that because a customer overheard you and stuff like that. Well, why are you doing it? Like, I know sometimes it's not good to be a follower, but if you're in a management position, you have to know that there's people watching you, there's people hearing you, and that, there's you're the example, you're the role model, you're the professional. Oh, excuse me. The five dimensions of power are coercive. I don't know how to say that word. Cor coercive. I don't know how to say that word. Reward, legitimate, expert, power, and referent, and informational. Ooh. Okay. So I had them up right here. Wait. So coercive is based on the ability to administer punishment or to give negative reinforcements. And usually, how I see that is when I was in volleyball, um, we had to have a C or better in classes and bring in grade checks. If we didn't have those grade checks turned in by Wednesday before the end of the school day, or like by 2 o'clock into my coach's desk or whatever, for every missing grade check, we'd had to run a suicide. So one time there was like 20 people that didn't turn in their grade checks. But I thought it was so unfair. I thought people that didn't turn in a grade check should have had to run. Not everybody is a team. But we are a team. We have to stick together, I guess, and stuff like that. So one day, and it's usually on the basketball court. So we'd do our volleyball horizontally. So we put up two nets, and we'd have to run horizontally the suicides. We had to do two in under 1 minute. I'm a chunky girl. It was very hard for me. So I would do it in exactly 60 seconds. If we didn't do it exactly in 60 seconds, we'd have to do it again, like right then and there. We wouldn't wait until the end of the line. We do it right then and there. And I thought that was an abuse of authority as well, an abuse of power. So that was a punishment for us though, because we didn't turn in our grade checks. So that's a good example of that. Reward is the ability to deliver something of value to others. I would think reward power can be seen as when you do something good, you get rewarded for it, kind of like how I was saying in my previous video. When you get a lot of credits at work, like credit applications, if after 3, you start getting incentives, so it gets start adding it onto your paycheck. And usually, also when you help a good customer, they fill out a survey for you, and you get a celebratory like announcement, and corporate gets to see that, and they print it out and put it on the board at work. So that's a type of award as well. Legitimate power is resides in the position rather than the person. I guess that's a good, like, I can use myself as that example because when I was at Kohl's as a regular associate, I never saw myself as above of others. I never saw myself like that until I became a department supervisor when I was like, oh, I'm better than you, blah, blah. And that was not good because it was taking over my life. Oh, excuse me again. And it wasn't good because the nice person I was turned into the B word, and it was not okay because there'd be a lot of people that do their job incorrectly, and I wouldn't like how they do it at some points. So I'd go to the manager that was in charge of that day and just give him attitude, and it's not supposed to be like that. Like, I guess the frustration and the stress just got to me, and it was horrible. And I didn't like the legitimate power, like that obvious power, but didn't like it. Extra power is based on the person, not in the position, in contrast to legitimate power. Oh, so this is the opposite of what I was saying. I did read through this chapter, but I just need like refreshers. Um, so my group members didn't go through all of them, but I am because I like to explain more in detail when I talk to a camera, or it's basically talking to myself, and I get to comprehend things better. So, no matter what position you have, you're always going to see yourself as an equal to others. You're always going to see yourself as a team. You're not always going to be like, oh, I'm here by myself. Instead of being a pessimist, I should have been an optimistic and seeing that at least the job got done. It got done incorrectly, but at least it got done and I don't have to worry about it. I could just take time out of a normal day and just put it where it's supposed to go, just move things around. So, yeah. Brentford power is more of a role model power. Um, for example, when I played volleyball and I played soccer, I looked up to athletes. My mom and my dad played sports, so they are my role models, and they lead by example. But for volleyball, I looked up to Carrie Walsh, the beach volleyball player, and Misty May Trainer. I loved them. And then soccer, I looked up to Alex Morgan, and I wanted to be like them when I grew up. Like, my dream was to become a pro soccer player and a pro volleyball player, but I guess I just liked playing it for fun because I wasn't all that great. I was better at soccer than volleyball now that I think of it, but yeah, they're role models and they lead by example, but not because they have to, but because they want to. Oh, did we talk about this one? Expert power. We talked about that one. Oh, I'm on information. It's based on the access and distribution of data. Those in roles that span organizational boundaries, marketers, salespeople, public relations staff have access to information about outside events. Moves, personal managers, positions. So I'm going to say this one is more at work when there be a big sale coming up and like a friends and family kind of thing when the associates get 20, and 15% off. Or if it was like a associate shop day when we get 35% off, then we'd be able to get that information from management. I'm going to take it as that. It's information that can't go out just yet, but it's there for your use. I think it's along those lines. And then ecological power arises out of control over the physical environment, technology, and how work is organized. So it's something that's not in our control, I'm assuming. Include designate that layout, manufacturing, assembly line, installing a new software program, and changing the duties assigned to. So I'm assuming that's gonna be like when one day when I went to work on a Saturday morning, and we open at 8 in the morning, and nobody was gonna be with me until 11 a.m. and I had to take control of the whole sales floor. I sound iffy about that because I'm not super confident about that answer. Like that's not in our control. It's just the environment of work and their payroll and what they have available. is what I'm gonna take it as, because how, yeah, that's how I'm gonna take it as, because that's not up to us, that's up to management. So yeah, that's what I'm a final answer. um okay, so my group also talked about powerless and powerful talk, and the hesitations and hedges, and the tag questions. Where did I see these? Oh, here they are. And the disclaimers, and the accountability, and side particles. So everyone's going to hesitate from time to time. I'm hesitating right now with the answer that I just gave. It's non-avoidable for me. Hedges, that's, I always say that. I guess, I think, maybe so, stuff like that. Tag questions, isn't it, wouldn't it? At work, I would do this a lot. They would suggest something, but I would suggest something else, and I'd be like, well, don't you think this? Wouldn't it be easier if this? Wouldn't it take more time to do this project if we did it this way? Stuff like that. Disclaimers, don't get me wrong, but like telling them some bad news, but not so harshly. I've done that a lot at work, which I'm tired of talking about work. So I need to start relating it to like school and stuff. But school, I literally just go and leave. Like my classes ends, I leave because I'm a commuter, and I live off campus and I work off campus. So that's about it. Accountability. They said something along the lines like you have to be like be held accountable for your own actions, and I definitely agree with that. However, if it's a group thing, you can't just throw someone under the bus. If it's a group effort, you have to all take the blame. However, I'm gonna use this example. My two group members, Jordan and Alexander, they have been doing a wonderful job with Google Hangouts, and honestly, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't feel comfortable with talking over like chat, like live chat or anything like that. I do have a lot going on at home, and I tell them I can like do that time, but it ends up being like I can't end up doing that time. They're not always like they're not excuses. I just sometimes I do have some like I'm like burning myself out right now, but I just have to be honest. I don't feel comfortable talking on live chat, and it's kind of really awkward, especially since I'm the only girl. I mean, it is about classes and stuff, but when it comes to face, I'm more sociable. But when it comes to like camera stuff, I'm not. I have to do it by myself, or they have to be with me, and like all of them. Like I can't just be talking to them through Skype or through Google Hangouts. It's a unknown territory for me. That's like no man's land for me. So I just had to get that off my chest because they have been doing wonderful, and like I'm getting the ability to do this, and I'm super duper grateful because I don't know what I would be doing because I really want to pass this class with a B, but I don't know. Fingers crossed because I'm a slacker and I don't know why. Okay, so that's being held accountable because I'm being held accountable for my own actions while they're being held accountable for theirs because this is a group effort, and yes. So side particles are saying things like that is simply that detract from powerful image. They can be irritating for listeners. So when you're giving a public speech and you want to sound persuasive, don't be like, so like you should give up smoking because like you get cancer and like you can die. No, it should be like, I just did it right now. It's so hard. It should be, oh, you should give up cancer because take a break, listen to your mind, because it can cause cancer, and the cancer can affect death or affect how you die. Like if you feel that you're going to say like a lot, like I do all the time, like right now, then take a breather, pause, help people process what you have to say, and you're gonna become more convincing. I learned that after I finished public speaking. Tough break. Okay, on to chapter 10. This has been 15 minutes already, but I'm gonna just skim through chapter 10 because I love talking. And I'm not even talking to anybody, I'm talking to myself. And you might think I'm really weird, which I am, and I'm not ashamed of it. So, Leadership and diversity, you definitely have to know different cultures, know how to talk to one another. Just because I'm Mexican and someone is a different thing doesn't mean you can necessarily talk bad about me because you don't know who I am. Um, so communication patterns, verbal and nonverbal, are used to convey meanings to face-to-face encounters. Um, for example, nonverbal codes and to saying hi with a Hispanic family where I'm from. We shake hands, we hug, and we kiss on the cheek. Um, and then that's a nonverbal code. And a nonverbal code also would be your mom giving you the look, like, stop saying that, or the look of, if you don't stop, I'm gonna hit you, stuff like that. Or, like, I keep saying like, or a nonverbal code can be when you're at a party and your mom's taking forever to say goodbye. So you're just in the car waiting like this. And she looks at you like nothing's happening. And you're just like, an hour goes by and she still hasn't said bye. And she's holding like the plate of food like in her hand, just waiting to stop the conversation, stop being so nosy about other people's business and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the things I deal with. Okay, anyways, off topic. Um so culture, knowing culture, you become more open-minded, you become more diverse, you know. In this example, men and women, usually men are seen to be more stronger and they're supposed to be the head of the household. But nowadays we have more stay-at-home dads than we do stay-at-home moms, which is pretty twisted. It's really interesting how the world has changed so much because women weren't even allowed to work back then, and now they're making millions and like it's awesome. So the tables have definitely changed, shifted, I should say. So definitely, oops, sorry. Nothing necessarily makes men or women better leaders than the other. It's just a character thing. You have to know how to portray yourself and who you are as a person, like I've been saying in the past times. And I mean, everybody has their own ways of doing tasks. Guys usually like to do their things then and there. Like if they have a project at home, they have to do it. If a girl has a plan for something, they have to like write it down, think it through step by step. Guys just go in and all out. And I know that by experience because that's how my boyfriend is. And it's kind of irritating sometimes because they don't plan it. They just go with their gut feeling. But yeah. So that's kind of everything I have to say.